Okay, so thank you, everybody. We're now going to have Ed Truman's going to be talking about Google Analytics 4. Ed has kindly stood in for Lucas, who has had to disappear off to hospital to have his baby, or his wife is having their baby. So Ed has actually just done this presentation this morning over in the introductory session, but it's been very popular, Google Analytics 4, so I thought it would be applicable. So I'm going to pass over to you, Ed, and I'm going to turn my camera off, and I will see you in about 25 minutes. Thank you.
Excellent, thanks, Anne. Yeah, good luck to Lucas. Apologies that he couldn't make it for this session. So I'm going to fill in and talk to you about Google Analytics 4. So apologies if anyone's seen this in my in stream 2 introductory session this morning. You might want to hop across and see an alternative talk if you've seen this already. But for anyone with a website who might be using web analytics, you should be. GA4 is the new kid on the block as far as Google Web Analytics goes. So Google Analytics 4 is the evolution of Universal Analytics, which has been the long-standing web analytics platform from Google. It's been their product since 2013. Last year, they launched App Plus Web, which was designed to better kind of unify the app and desktop website experience and combine it into one. They then rebranded it as Google Analytics 4 back in the end of October. And it's very much the future direction and the way Google Analytics will go from here on out. So it's a real kind of reimagining of analytics. It basically rebuilt it from the ground up. You'll see that it has a brand new interface, there's brand new reports. It operates on a new type of reporting model. It's a new event-based model. So things like page views and session-based metrics, they've gone to the wayside, and there's kind of new concepts and new metrics and things being introduced with GA4. It promises more and improved cross-device and user tracking capabilities in an age of user privacy and cookie blocking, cookie protection. The job of being able to track users and identify users across different devices and visits is becoming ever more difficult. So GA4 aims to solve some of those problems with a whole load of built-in AI and automated insights that it can offer. In addition, you've got enhanced visualizations, new custom reports, there's changes to the sampling. So kind of sampling issues, a lot of the sampling issues have gone away in GA4 versus Universal Analytics. Getting started does require a brand new property. So it will be a case of starting from fresh. This isn't something you can continue with your old Universal Analytics. You will have to retag your site and deploy it as a new property. So data will you'll start with a fresh account and data will come in from there. So some of the main noted differences that I've alluded to already. So it's less focus on sessions, and more user focus. So a lot more focus on the individual user, and then the events they actually carry out. Goals are now conversion. So conversion tracking is handled quite a bit differently. They're more event-based rather than session-based. Things like profile views are now replaced by things called streams, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. There's a lot less kind of filtering and configuration options. So it's important to understand that GA4 at this moment in time is still undergoing heavy development. So there's a lot of things still missing from it that will come in time. So people who are used to using Universal Analytics will find it quite startling coming into some of the reports and not being able to find some of the standard reports we've been used to, such as things like landing page reports and things like that. things like attribution modeling are still missing, still not fully there. Some of the reports around e-commerce aren't there. And I've already mentioned that there's been new metrics introduced and older metrics removed. So things like bounce rate metrics and bounces, they've now moved away and been replaced by alternatives. So what's new? So we've got a brand new user interface. This is what it looks like when you launch it. So you can see that there's a new revised menu down the side, all looking a bit different. So the kind of reports that you've been used to are all arranged a little bit differently. There's a lot more kind of automated insights and a lot more AI and prediction involved. It makes better use of the kind of dashboard state. So there's more tables and scorecard metrics, things like more kind of interactive real-time reports where you have the ability to kind of better segment and filter, just a lot more kind of information given. We've got new engagement metrics. So the concept of page views and bounce rates have gone, and we've been introduced to things like engaged session and engaged sessions per user. And these are new metrics that have been brought in to help you get an understanding of how people are engaging users. And it's doing this all automatically behind the scene. It has its own calculation for what an engaged session is, but it's hoping you start to adopt these types of metrics and terminology going forward. You'll also see that in the tables, things like goals have disappeared and they've been replaced by columns for conversions and event counts. In the page reporting, you'll see things quite differently here. Again, page views is gone. You've got just kind of basic things like views, no page views per sessions, no direct landing page report available, but we've got things like average engagement time and user unique scroll. So it can automatically detect whether someone's actually engaging with the content and scrolling down the page. And it's doing this automatically behind the scenes with some of the enhanced tracking that comes straight out of the box. So it's a different kind of layout, some different dimensions, some different metrics. One of the cool things is the enhanced automatic event tracking for companies who just want to get going with tracking straight away. GA4 offers built-in auto tracking that covers things like outbound link clicks, site search, video engagements, file downloads. This is all tracked automatically via Smart Pixel. This is all optional as well. You can toggle this on or off in the admin section, so you have control over how these things are configured and what actually gets tracked. But it's super useful because it allows advertisers and marketers to get going quickly with tracking on their website. One of the things that GA4 brings to the table is this cross-device capability. It does a much smarter job at being able to track users as they browse the internet, return to the site, come back on different devices. So Google Analytics uses like Google Signals and ad preference information to better stitch together different sessions and tie them together with users. So it's using a whole host of signals to tie visit data and user data together into one. So there's a lot of Google power and AI going on behind the scenes in order to stitch this information together. So it's a step up from what you would have had in Universal Analytics. We have a concept called data streams. Data streams replace profile views. So if you've been used to views in Google Analytics, they have gone and they've been kind of semi-replaced with a concept called data streams. And these data streams are designed to be used if you have different platforms under one brand. So say if you have a brand website and a brand app, each one of those should be created as a data stream under a single property. This isn't a place where you should list out separate websites, separate domains. You should still create a separate GA4 property if you have a completely different website that is independent to your current website. So we've got this concept of data streams. You'll also see with that the ability to be able to kind of filter views and things like that directly from the admin has now gone by the wayside. So we have to do more filtering in the internal reports. So we have GA as an event-based model, and this is one of like the biggest changes that GA4 has seen. Everything is now like event-based, from everything from a session start to a page view to a video play, all the way through to any kind of custom conversion tracking. Everything is event-based. So in order to have anything measured, it needs to be passed in as an event. Now, some of these events are collected automatically, such as like session starts, page titles, and things like that. Some of them are a bit more like enhanced. So things like scroll tracking, video starts, outbound link clicks, those types of things. They're auto-tracked, but they're part of the enhanced events suite. And then you have recommended and custom events. So things like add to carts and signups. There's a bunch of recommended ones they give you, but there's also, you can also create your own kind of custom ones and send those into the system. And they all end up in a dedicated event section. They can be accessed throughout most of the reports in GA4. But you'll see all of the events are being collected. You'll see them in one big dedicated event list section, which is quite useful to see like the volumes of what's actually being clicked, etc., etc. But from this, you can create conversions based off of the events. Now, you can send in extra information with the events as well. So with every event, you have the ability to be able to append some extra information. So you can send into up to 25 extra parameters with each event you send in. So you can send in a video event, and you can maybe like include like the video title, the video file URL, things like that. So you have up to 25 potential slots there where you can include all this extra information and send it along with the event that comes in. So there's two options to create new events. So you can create them directly within the interface itself by piggybacking off of any existing events that might be in there. Or if you need to create a brand new event, then you'll need to use something like Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager is what we recommend rather than having to mess around with on-page G-tag implementation or anything like that. So these are the two kind of main ways in which you could create new events. So creating new events based off of existing events. So you can, within the interface, you can just go to this new option of create event. You can then give it an event name, and this is the name that you'll see come into GA. So in this case, we're wanting to track blog article views, but this could also be a thank you page. Basically, what we're doing is creating like a page view goal, but we're recreating it in Google Analytics 4. So this is a blog article view. It fires on the event name of page view. So it's a page view event, but we only trigger it when the page location contains blog. Okay, so we're using an existing event, but we're just selecting the parameter, specifying the parameter must contain blog, and we can save that as an event from there. So we hit save. The alternative is to directly do this within Google Tag Manager for like a brand new event that maybe doesn't exist, like an inquiry form submit. This is made really easy, and I'll be showing you actually how to do this in Google Tag Manager actually in one of my later 3:30 sessions in session 2 for anyone that's interested. But basically, GTM provides you with GA4 tags that you can now use. And it really is pretty simple to get going with. You basically just select a GA4 event tag. you give it a name, you select the trigger when you want to fire it. And for anyone that uses GTM, you'll know how that is done. So we're giving it a name of inquiry form submit, and we want to fire it on inquiry on any form submit action on the site. So you can create your own triggers for this in GTM. When that comes in, you'll see that come into the events section, and then from there you have the ability to simply mark it as a conversion. So you can turn it from being a general like event into a conversion event. Okay, so it's not it won't become a session goal, but it'll just be marked as an important conversion action, and will be bundled under the kind of conversions label that you can then use across your report. So for anything that is significant to you that you actually want to mark as a conversion, you can basically select this, and you can select up to 30 conversions per property. So you're not limited to like the 20 goal slots that you had previously. So there's far more greater potential and opportunities there to piggyback off existing events and create new conversions from those. Goals are no longer available within GA4. So goals are dead. These don't exist. You won't find them in GA4. Everything is just done a little bit differently with event level, hit level data married with user data. There's still some users, some session metrics and dimensions you'll find in GA4, but they're a lot more limited than they were in Universal Analytics. With GA4, we've got new e-commerce reporting, not especially new, but just alternative. So there's a new schema that's been introduced. So if you're looking to get going with new e-commerce reporting, you will have to implement new e-commerce tracking code. Some of the standard reports that you might be used to, so some of the enhanced shopping reports, you'll no longer see in the standard e-commerce reports within the interface. You'll have to be a bit more inventive and create some custom reports in the analysis hub that I'll be showing you shortly. So as mentioned, there is a brand new e-commerce tracking schema. So it means that the current universal tracking you might have set up on your website will have to be rehashed and reformatted using the schema set out by GA4. So a few things need to be tweaked there. Your job is made easier if you're already using Google Tag Manager and you have the data layer on the site. So you can basically just kind of remap the data layer variables to the new GA4 event. So GTM will definitely make your life a lot easier. It's definitely what I would recommend for implementation of GA4 going forwards, just generally. We've got a brand new audience builder. So one of the kind of core sections is this new advanced audience builder. It's a little bit like the old kind of segmentation tool. So it allows you to build user-based, session-based, and event level rules that you can then use for different audiences. So you can start to group different audiences together based on your own criteria, and have them added to temporary lists or permanent lists. These lists will feed into Google Ads as well, so they automatically get passed into any Google Ads that you may have connected to your GA4 account as well. And one of the cool things you can do with this is take advantage of the audience trigger. So you can actually fire an event every time a new audience member is added to the list. So for anyone that fits a certain criteria, you can trigger an event that you can then use for other purposes, whether that's optimization, conversion tracking, segmentation, and other reports. As part of it comes new predictive metrics. So this is like the AI stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So it now provides you with purchase probability stats, churn probability stats, and provided that you meet the right quota for traffic and conversion data, and these suggested audiences, predictive audiences will become available to you for you to be able to use. So you can see and identify these audiences with a propensity to convert or who are likely to convert over the next 7 days. And you can run reports and compare those audiences alongside other audiences. So this is all new kind of cool stuff that just wasn't previously available in Universal Analytics. One of the kind of really cool things that will excite the more kind of advanced users, especially those who are happy to work with raw data sets and play around in BigQuery. GA4 has a direct export function to Google BigQuery. So you can get all of the raw data from your GA4 account and have that passed into Google BigQuery with just a few clicks. This was previously a paid for feature in GA360, but Google have brought this across to GA4 as, I don't know, maybe a kind of like a future step to kind of like trying to kind of build for more data storage and, you know, build on Google Analytics as a kind of income generating source for the business. Who knows? But the fact that we've got it is super useful. You will find that there is some integration missing from some of the kind of more common tools that you may be used to. So things like Search Console, AdSense, DoubleClick, search ads for Search Ads 360 linking. Those things are currently not available for GA4. I would expect that they'll be coming online in the near future, but currently those are not available. You've got this analysis hub. So GA4 is much more of a kind of analysis platform, more than a reporting platform. And that's really kind of the direction that Google is trying to move away from, more to kind of a self-service analysis platform. And this is where it really kind of like makes up for the lack of standard reports currently. So they provided you with this analysis hub with a whole bunch of templates included already that you can use and play around with. It's got a whole range of different templates and models, so you can build your own funnels, do your own path analysis, run segment overlaps, explore reports and tables. So it's really opened up a lot more possibility in how you can dissect your data and play around with your data. And especially in GA4 with its current limitations, you'll find in order to get the most from GA4, you'll have to build a lot of your basic reports within the analysis hub. So we've got things like the ability to be able to build your own funnels. Again, this ability was something that was only available in the enterprise premium version of GA360. They've now brought that across to GA4 to open up to everybody. So you can create any funnel you like. There's no limitations on the amount of funnels you can create or what type of funnels. If you've got event data coming into the account, then you can create and construct your own multi-step funnel for measurement. So this is one of the really kind of cool analysis features that I really like about GA4. You can see those funnels like trended over time as well. So you can like monitor like abandonment rates at each stage of your funnel, and you can see how those look over a time period. Again, a very different way of looking at your data than what you could have got in Universal Analytics. It's got things like device segment overlap because of like I said about the AI and the Google signals that are active. You can start to kind of build models based on users and how they overlap across like different devices or different traffic sources. So again, it's giving you the tools to be able to think about how you want to better understand your data. So it's giving you a lot more flexibility and freedom to create what you need. Reverse funnel paths and forward funnel paths, these are things I really like as well. So being able to kind of work backwards from a conversion point and see all the previous steps and expand those outwards, as well as starting from first user visit and expanding forward. So again, you can build your own funnel paths. You're not locked down in the ways you used to be in Universal Analytics. So a lot more freedom there to be able to create your own reports. Exploration reports as well, so recreating things like landing pages, and you can segment and filter these by your own criteria. You can take advantage of the User Explorer report as well, where you can get a detailed breakdown of every single user ID or app instance. So you can see, you can dig into the activity of like individual site visitors and see what their what levels of engagement they're involved in. So you can drill right down. You can see every event that took place across different sessions, different times. So this can really kind of help you get a better understanding of the typical behavior of like some of your top segments, maybe people who convert. So the question is like, should you upgrade to GA4? So yes, you should upgrade. You should create a new property and start using it. GA4, like I said, it is very underdeveloped at the moment. So this isn't something you're going to want to switch to full time. You're going to want to continue to run your Universal Analytics in conjunction with GA4, mainly because you don't want to kind of give up on your old data. But just the fact that GA4 is still underdeveloped and would require starting with a fresh property from scratch. So it's absolutely fine to like dual tag your sites, run them in parallel. You're not going to get any kind of contamination. They're separate properties, they're essentially separate entities. So you're not going to get any pollution or traffic messing up. Like I said, there is a bunch of stuff missing in GA4 that isn't yet there that you will see in Universal Analytics. Things like attribution, multi-channel funnel reports, some of the kind of filtering options around configuration settings, and just the general kind of filtering and organization of the account, like within the admin section. Those things are a lot more. They're either not there or they're just restrictive in different ways. And e-commerce still missing some of the kind of features you might be used to, like product level dimensions and pre-built field funnels and things like that. So advice is, to dual tag your website, run it in parallel, move forward with Google Tag Manager wherever possible, and the data layer is going to continue to allow you to operate a lot more quickly and be a lot more flexible in future if anything should change and should upgrade. Just one more thing to note as well, if anyone's interested in seeing a demo account of it, Google have released their own demo version of it. So if you want to have a poke around in what a GA4 account looks like, you can access a demo account here and have a good play around with it. It's all Google data based on their existing merchandise store. So that's good. I hope that's been useful to you all. So thank you for listening, and any questions I'll be happy to answer in the chat section.
Thanks very much, Ed. That was very helpful. I think the thing about setting it up now is that the information only starts collecting from the date you add the tag, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. You're going to want to get it in place now and just start building that data. You don't have to have everything perfect and everything tracked, but just at a bare minimum, just get the basic tag put onto your website.
Excellent. There's a bit of an echo, so I'll say goodbye to you, and then we'll bring in Russell. Thanks, Ed.